I used to work out a lot. So how about finding an activity like working out physical?
Well,
Unfortunately,
does
can't do skate.
skateboarding fall into that category of like
Oh yeah, I think so.
that, Bellin? In your experience, do you find that skateboarding and aggression have some kind of connection? Meaning, like, if you skate more, do you have less aggression in your life overall, or
Good
Yes,
question.
yes. Have you ever watched the Guy Mariano Barracks documentary, HB? It came out in like
no?
2014. It's very, very good. It talks about how Guy Mariano kind of fell off after Yeah Right came out, and he like I'm pretty sure he got into heroin because if he had been doing crack or crystal meth, he probably would have kept skating. So I think he had to have been on heroin to have not been
Oh
skating for
shit!
like four
Wait,
years.
is that what came out with Fully Flared? The
Yes, and that's
DVD
why he had
special
two
edition?
songs in fully. That's why he had two songs in fully flared because it
So
was like Guy Mariano's been gone for 10 years and now he's back and he's has two songs.
so skateboarding became like what, like he dealt with his aggression in that way.
Well, what he talks about in that is like throughout, and he's been a pro skater since he was a little kid, so he's a special case. But he talks about how when his skating is good, like his relationships with family are good, and like his life is good, and like when his skating is bad, like he lashes out at people. His money starts, he starts having more trouble making money and keeping up family relationships. And I feel the same way. If I go 3 or 4 weeks without skating, which has only happened a few times in my life since I started skating, usually due to like injuries, I'll start to be like super depressed and I'll start to,
Yeah.
questioning myself, like, am I lashing out on people? Like I feel like but if I'm skating a lot, then you can really make me mad.
Damn, dude, I feel like I need to live in California
No,
or
no,
somewhere
no,
that's
no,
not
no, no.
shitty like
No,
here.
no. Look, I'm the same way. I think if you find something you love, and talking practically, if you could find something you love doing, it would be beneficial by itself. Now, if you can do it physical too, a physical activity, that's even better. I think Bellin is completely right. And people go look at that video. I think it's a good point. So we can you know what to look for. Look for an activity physical if you can find it, but if not, at least spend more time doing what you love to do.
What you need, HB, I think, and this is what this happened to me, and I see it happen to everyone I know that keeps skating. Is you're at the point, HB, where you need to find people to skate with, because it doesn't look like you
That'd be good.
skate with any of the people you used to skate with, right? Like most
Yeah,
people move and have kids and just quit, and so then you're like, where the fuck did all my friends go? And you literally have to go. You have to
Good
force
point.
yourself to go to different skate parks for a few months until you start finding people that you, and everyone's going to hate me when I say this, you start finding other skaters that you kind of vibe with that are around your same energy and your same skill level. And then you start skating with them. And once you're skating every other day, at a minimum, that's when you like all your muscle memory comes back and you start to realize, like, especially when you're older, you're like, oh wow, it's easier now because I know how to use my body. So everything got easier, even though it's hard. You get tired quicker. Like if you pick a trick and you've been skating every day for a week at like 25 to 30, you should be able to go out and learn that trick in a day. There's not a single trick you shouldn't be able to learn
in a
if you decide
day.
that's the trick I want to learn today. Yeah, but
Wait,
yeah, but you've got to be on your consistency level. So like you've got to be consistent with your kick flips and your shove its and your grinds, whatever ones you have, right? And then if you're like, okay, I want to learn a varial heel flip. If you've been doing heel flips and front side shove its for the last couple of weeks, you could probably learn varial heel flip in a
is
day.
this like
But
physical? Is this like math in a physical form? Is this physics being practiced?
it's not as bad as like it's not like a Rodney Mullen TED talk, but
No, no,
it's kind of
no.
like that.
I'm actually saying, like, is the idea of is what you're saying that the reason that you can kind of figure out how to do a varial heel flip, if you can do a heel flip, are you like making almost like Rodney Mullen in the sense of like you're making computations in your head, like if I do this with my heel this much, like it
It
always
has to do
fascinates me
this.
when I see kids
Yeah.
that are like 14 you know, or whatever, real young, way younger. And I'm like, how are you even smart enough to know how to flip this and flip that? You know, and I sound like an old
For kids
thing.
that young, it's instinct. For kids that are that young and are super good. I mean, they've been skating since they were like single digits. You know what I mean? I started skating at 12. So it's like if you've
Okay.
been skating since you were 7 years old, you don't even think about how a kickflip feels. You can just do one. So
Mm.
I imagine they would have a different answer. But yeah, I mean, it's just something I noticed when I hit my like 20s is that I could pretty like you start to lean on your board and put pressure on it in certain ways, and you feel the board flex up, and you're like, oh, if I pop right now, it's gonna hard flip. Like you can just feel it
So this is
from
the
I guess
thing
experience.
you just learn in your 20s because are you saying not because you're in your 20s, but because you've been doing it for so long that it just becomes
Because
like,
you've been doing it so long and because you have to think about it, like because the frustrations of going out and like when I was 17, you know what I mean, I'd skate all day and I would do tricks, but I would maybe be like frontside flip. Like I couldn't do frontside flip for fucking ever, bro, and I could do all the other tricks next to frontside flip like hard flip and stuff like that. Couldn't do frontside flips. And then I just revisited it when I was like 23, and I was kind of just doing like 180s, trying to do them as like lofty as like late as possible. And I just felt it. I was like, if I flick right there, it's just gonna do it. And then I found it. And then like I don't know, I was playing around. Like I used to do exercises. Like I used to do conditioning exercises. So I would go
really
to wherever skate park I would go to, I'd be like, all right, I'm a like a hip. I'd be like, I'm gonna do every 180 over that hip, and there's 8 180s. So that's working out a
faking
lot of your
front
two for
side,
each
backside.
stance.
Oh, right.
And so it's like if you do all the 8 180s and then you get warmed up, you limber out all your muscles, and then I start challenging myself. Like I'm not gonna start doing any tricks until I do all 8 of the 180s in a row. So I would go and I would just skate around in a circle, just doing tricks on this hip. Switch backside 180, regular backside 180, nollie backside 180, fakie half cab. I would try to do all 8 180s in a row, and now that seems so easy to me. Like I can do that on almost any spot I go to if it's not gnarly. But at the time, like it would take it's hard to do a nollie backside 180 over something if you've never done it before. So you kind of have to force yourself to learn all these little basic tricks, and then once you know all the stance basic tricks, you're like, oh, I know what a nollie half cab flip should feel like because you have enough references, I guess. So that helped me out a lot too, was forcing myself to learn all the baby tricks that I'd never learned before.
I just want to correct and going along with what you just said, I want to correct something Jackson Black said in the chat here. He said that the frontside flip is the most basic trick. Not true at all. Frontside flip involves
Yeah,
a
not
flip
true at all.
and a 180 frontside. That is far from the most basic trick.
He's a skateboard troll.
Maybe a shove it or an ollie. And it took him 6 years. He's slower
Well, it's
than Wendy.
also
Wendy took 10 years to learn the frontside flip. So I just want to correct you on that, Jackson.
well, it's like and here's the thing. This is how you can tell Jackson doesn't skate. It's because Jackson's going based off of like his light interaction with skateboarding and like video game knowledge. So to him, in a video game, a frontside flip is just a kick flip and a turn 180.
Yeah,
But
that
every
makes sense.
trick,
It's a button press.
yeah, every trick is its own trick. Like I know people that I could demolish in a game of skate, but they can do nollie inward heel flips. You know what I mean? I've never done an inward heel flip in any stance. I just can't inward heel flip.
Never.
It's a weird
Oh my
trick
god,
for me.
dude! I had a
Those
like.
inward heel flips and switch tray flips are the only tricks I can't do. Other than that, I can do every trick.
I
That's a
think that's
reasonable trick.
specifically that trick. Jesus, you're fucking crunching newspapers over there. The only noise I want to hear is from your mouth talking. That sounded weird for a second, so I had to specify talking. But here's the thing, folks. Skateboarding. What were we saying about skateboarding?
That
You were asking me about inward heel flips.
Yeah, so I tortured myself one day and forced myself to go out in the cold in like 39 degrees. And I'm just like, I'm going to keep skating until I do an inward heel flip. And I did. But man, that was the last time I ever did that to myself because when I got home, I just like threw up in the trash can. It was,
I
it
did
was
that before.
freezing. You probably do it all the time. You probably think I'm a pussy, right? Do you do this like?
Well, I don't do it all the time, but there was one summer where I was skating to the point of throwing up, like almost like on a weekly basis, and I was like, I've got to chill the fuck out. And that's the year I rolled my ankle really bad, trying to get really good at doing switch ollies down stuff.
Switch ollies. Now, when you ride switch, do you push Mongo?
No, I push regular both ways because I'm one of those kids that when I started learning how to skate, I pushed Mongo for like a year. So I had to force myself to learn how to push
Oh,
regular. And then when I
wait.
started skating
Wow.
switch, I already had a good switch push.
Shit. That's kind of cool. In the short term, it sucks if people think. Did people make fun of you?
Oh yeah, that's how I had one friend that was from Santa Cruz that was older and way better than me, and he was like, "Dude, you've got to start pushing regular." And so what I would do is I would push regular around town, like going to school and going to the skate park. And
Yeah.
then eventually I got to the point where at the skate park, it was easier to push regular because it takes less time to go from your stance to a regular push. It takes like twice as long to do a Mongo push.
Is it because
So
you're
it makes
rotating
sense.
your ankle or something? You keep
That
rotating your
that
body,
and
right?
your foot's in front of you, so it has to like a lot farther to go. Whereas like your foot's behind you, you're kind of just pushing off the ground. Like
Right.
you're just boosting yourself. You're not pulling yourself.
What do you think about that other shit? Like, like the other weird skate products, like the Rip Stick. Like, do you ever just fuck around with that just to be like, what does this feel like?
I mean, I think it's natural for any skater to want to stand on any type of board that has wheels on it, but
Yeah.
only for a joke. Like I used to have a penny board in my house, and it never left the house. Like we'd be like I used to have a skate house, so it would be like 4 couches in the living room, and there would be like 6 guys living in the house, and like we'd all be playing skate on the TV, and like there'd be a guy behind the couch on the carpet trying to do, 540 flips on the penny board, that type of
Wow.
shit, just to prove that you could do it on
Did
on the
anybody
penny board
land a
because it's so
540
small.
flip?
Oh yeah, I can do
Right.
a fakie. It's not really fakie, but it's kind of fakie the way it feels. I could do a fakie 540 flip, and then so basically a fakie bigger flip on a penny board. That's probably
Wow.
my best
Wait a
my best penny
second.
board maneuver.
Okay. So you're not just saying the board's rotating 540. You're saying your body's rotating
A
180,
180, yeah, like a big
What
flip, but
the
you're doing a 540
fuck?
big flip. I could do those on a real
Dude,
skateboard.
you gotta like have do you have a phone that can record slow motion? That
Yeah,
would be really cool to see in slow motion, I think.
I'll try to do one next time.
But
Next
what
time
do
I'm
I know?
out
I'm just
skating
a
with my friends.
36% skater. What's that?
I said I'll try to do one next time I'm skating. I actually haven't done a fakie bigger flip in probably like 3 years, but I do a lot of
Beta.
fakie tray flips.
Yeah,
So
so
beta flips,
wait, did you guys have a team at that skate house?
no, no, we didn't have a team. I mean, we were like a unit, like we all skated together and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
we never got sponsored. Like the best dude in our team, I just called it our team now because of you. The best dude in our little clique is really really good, and he's never even been sponsored. But I've seen him do tray flips like down 8 stairs and shit like that.
Damn.
So it's just all about like exposure, really. Like I don't hang out with people. Like I only hang out with skaters, but I don't hang out with you just because you skate. Like if you go out and you try to hang out with like those are the filmers, you got to hang out with them. Like you'll end up doing something because you'll be filming all the time, and you might get some stuff. But it's like if you just skate with your friends every day, it really doesn't matter how good you get at doing like back 360s at the skate park. That doesn't translate into getting a career out of it. Like you have to
Because you're
actually
doing
meet
it at
people
a
that make
leisurely
videos.
way, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm doing it in a leisurely way, and in a non like Like you could just go to the skate park every day and be one of those guys that's like, I'm gonna do Smith grind triple flip out, and you could try to go like viral, you know what I mean? But like that shit's for kids, dude. I'm not gonna sit there and try to. I heard Luan Oliveira say it once when he lost in the battle at the barracks. Someone did a hard flip late frontside 180, so the opposite of a ghetto bird, and he missed it, and they were like, have you ever tried that trick before? And he was like, yeah, I've tried that trick before, but like, I'm not going to sit there and practice all day just to learn a weird trick like that. Like to someone that does tricks downstairs, it makes no sense to be really good at like backside double flips, because when are you going to ever be able to apply that?
Well, why did he try it in a
actually doing tricks on
contest
stuff?
then? That's the
Well, no, he tried it because Seva Krovkov did it in Battle at the Barracks, and so he had to do it. It's the game of skate competition.
Oh, it was a game of skate. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
So
a total different ball
He had to
game.
do it. And that's why he was like, I mean, yeah, it would be nice to win this, but he's like an Olympic, he's going to be in the Olympics, but he's a gold medal skater. Like he's not going to sit there. It's like Nyjah Houston. You might be able to beat Nyjah Houston in a flat ground game of skate if you're consistent enough and you have enough weird tricks.
Right. Like
But
inward hard flip, if that even exists. No, that doesn't make sense. I meant to say
technically,
inward
like
pressure flip.
Yeah, pressure flip. Like if you're really good at pressure flips, you could smash most people in a game of skate. But that doesn't prove much unless you're in the battle at the barracks, and then it could get you $10,000.
Yeah, Sam, what do you think about the battle at the barracks? Into it?
I was sitting here kind of enjoying watching your face as you talk. You're happy, and what I got from Bellin was find that activity, skateboarding, and he's doing it with people he wants to be around. So my question for Bellin would be, how specifically could HB, what could he do to get into this kind of situation that you've described that I think
HB's a skater already, so
right.
he has all the tools. It's just all about, it's literally going, it's like a job. Like I've been slacking lately. Like I only go skating maybe twice a week right now because of the weather and my job.
Right.
So it's always dark or I'm always fucking asleep. But my goal is to try to skate at least 4 or 5 days a week, because if you go out every single day and you do it, you just see the same people every day. And because the same people you'll go to different parks and be like, oh hey, you're that guy that I saw do a frontside crook the other day at the other skate park. And then you just eventually you start talking to people. And skateboarding is honestly no homo. It's a lot about having man crushes and shit like that. So it's like you'll go to the skate park every day, and then you'll see one guy and you'll be like, oh, I fucking love it when this dude shows up, because he really gets it going. You know what I mean? Like he skates the same obstacles as you do, or he does tricks that are maybe opposite of yours, so you guys aren't stepping on each other's toes. And then enough times of skating the same obstacle as someone like that, they'll be like, bro, you trying to come over to the car and hit this joint? And then next thing you know, they're like, hey, come over to my house, I got the new fucking Habitat video. And then all of a sudden you're hanging with like 5-6 people, going on skate trips around towns and stuff like that.
But I guess still put out DVDs.
They do, but I mean, you just come over to watch them on YouTube. Like I just sit there, like I can't even watch skate videos because I have to watch skate videos with other people. I need someone to react to.
Yeah, so maybe my fucking problem is that I don't speak to people like really that much. Well, I don't have a skate crew. I just,
Good point. I think that's
you would though. That's what I'm saying is, if you went to the same couple of parks, like alternated, and just went to the same places every day or every other day for a couple weeks, you would, I think, eventually meet someone.
Yeah,
because you're very sociable on here and shit like that.
Once there's a new park they're building around here. It's like going to be a concrete park. It's going to be pretty cool. I just don't know how long it's going to take, but yeah, maybe I'll seek out one of the like better skate parks, because I don't really get too excited to go to the nearby one. It's just kind of small.
Well, I think the key element is being around people. you're doing a passion around people you like being around. So
Well, having a good spot is really important too. Like
yeah,
I've been in situations where I'm stuck in like when I was 15, I lived in like a shitty town. Like I moved away for a year, and then in that town, the skate park was terrible. And I used to literally, I'd be at the skate park just like basically throwing a hissy fit about how I hate everything. Like it was all bowls, and I like skating ledges and stairs and stuff like that. And
Mm.
so like I would literally go there and just do tricks on this shitty little manual pad, and you can't do it, and there's nowhere else to go, and you get fucking annoyed and shit. Like, and that makes you skate worse. Like, you have to skate somewhere that's fun for you to skate, and that can be hard. But in the Philly area, there's got to be a park somewhere around there that's really nice, like a
how would
plaza or something.
how would he find out? I don't
Oh,
know.
there actually is a really nice one. It's a really nice one that
That you want to go to?
that is not far from here. That I mean, I've been
That
around
might,
there, and
there you
I'm
go.
thinking about it now.
Well, put
Yeah,
that.
just do ollies over everything. Like if they have a Euro gap, just ollie it a bunch of times. Go up it again and again and again. Try some 180s, do 50/50s on any ledges that you see, and then, after a couple of days of that, all the little stuff like kickflip consistency will start coming back enough where it's like worth trying to kickflip down or up something. Because if you're rusty too, that's the other thing. I have a friend that is like me. He works all the time, and so we'll skate on Saturdays, and he'll try to instantly do like he wants to do like kickflip back tail. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And it's like I bet you, I'm like, dude, can you even do a flat ground kickflip right now? He's like, no, this is the only trick I can do. And I'm like, no, dude, you've got to do the easier tricks because you can't even do
So
that
he
one that you're
wants to
trying.
do the
I
hard
can see you. I
tricks
can tell you're
before.
not going to do it.
He wants to do the hard tricks before doing the
Well,
easy
because
tricks.
he just wants to do. He doesn't skate enough, so he just wants to do good tricks.
Mm.
But I'm telling him, I'm like, dude, until we're skating every day, you're not going to be able to do those good tricks like that. Like you've got to work on some work on some tricks you haven't done before that are easy. Like a lot of things that people like a lot of skaters can't do backside 50/50s, which is like a basic trick if you want to get good. But a lot of people just never take the time to learn how to get onto a ledge backside because it's scary to them.
So backside, let me just be okay. So front side for rotations is to your right. Well, wait, hold on. You goofy or
You're goofy,
regular?
right? I'm
I'm goofy.
regular, but I'll understand. So yeah,
Okay.
just talk about it in goofy
So
terms.
front side 180 is to my right. The front side 50/50 would be I could see the obstacle, right?
Yeah,
I've never
it's a
understood
very
the difference
literal.
there.
That's a common thing that skaters, and it however it helps you to think about it. I say just think about it like that because after you do the trick enough times and you think about it enough, it does start to make sense. But it's very literal. Front side means it's in front of you. So a front side board slide is the board slide where you're backwards going down the rail because the rail you got onto the rail, it was in front of you. And a backside board slide is the normal board slide where your body is facing downwards. And a lot of people get
Okay.
that confused. They think front side board slide is regular board slide, but it's not. It's actually the harder way.
Yeah, no, that's one I did remember. You know what? Now I guess my confusion was always like a front side 180 would result in a backside board slide, or a front side 90-degree turn from a
Yes,
goofy position would result in a backside board slide. Why would front side result in backs? That's always been
right.
my confusion.
But the answer is those are just two different things. And then the
Right.
other answer is the names are just the names that people gave them. So like fakie, everything is reversed. Like a half cab flip is technically a fakie front side or a fakie backside. Wait, see now I'm forgetting.
Huh.
Fakie front side flip. Yeah, so a half cab is technically a fakie backside flip. But if you did that nollie, that would be a nollie frontside flip. But everything is
Okay.
reversed in fakie because fakie comes from skating half pipes, and so fakie is
Oh,
backwards.
that's where it originated. Was from half pipes, right? Because people were
That's
skating
yeah,
that before street. That makes sense.
And then they would go up and they'd come back down in fakie. And so everything fakie, you pretend your orientation is regular. So a fakie.
Oh, that's why it's
side
fakey, because you're faking? You're
Maybe.
pretending?
I don't know about that. That might be. That's an interesting.
You know what this is?
Wondered.
This is like when Joe Rogan talks to an astrophysicist, like in terms of knowledge, like I'm the guy who doesn't know shit about this very specifics of skating, and you're like explaining it to me like you're the Neil deGrasse Tyson of skateboarding.
I thought you were going to say it's like when Joe Rogan talks UFC and the two guys on the show are really into it, but nobody is, because that's what I imagine is happening right now.
Well, Sam, how are you feeling right about now?
Well, I think it makes me want to go back in the gym.
Oh,
I kind of, yeah, it's not if you're not a skateboarder, but you guys are kind of showing joy, so I like that part, man. And I hope you come away from this program, HB, moving your butt out and really finding that place you talked about. And it's not rocket science. Bellin is saying something you like, passionate about, and be with your buds. That's better probably than going to therapy. And obviously it helps with depression too. So now it's up to you. I think you know what to do. Bellin really did give you the key, and I think you should try it. And I think it will probably work.
yeah. Sometimes I just need to think about it and talk about it enough to actually do it. So maybe this will be
good. Skating when you're older. Skating when you're older is more fun too, because like I said, you understand more about skating and there's less pressure. Like once you go to the skate park enough times and like, oh, that's that 19-year-old kid that gets free shoes from Adidas. Like once you know who those people are and you realize that you're just the older dude at the skate park now, it's way more chill to just, like you can skate with someone who's like incredibly good and they'll walk up to you like, what's up, OG? And whatever kids say. Mm-hmm. And then they'll fucking dap you up and shit. And it's just chill versus like going to new skate parks when you were like 16, 17, 18. And it's almost like you go there with your friends and then there's that other group of friends that are good too. And it's like, oh, it's on. It's a war for some reason. I don't know why. But I don't like those fucking guys on there.
Interesting.
It's just not like that when you're older.
So it almost
everyone's a lot more accepting.
Almost like I'm looking at the world like it's some kind of high school clique thing going on at the skate park or something.
You might be, because when did you really kind of fall out of skateboarding? Not to
probably right around that time, because my skate crew was like up until like I graduated high school, and then I skated. I still skated and got better for some years after that, but I no longer had a group of people that I skated with anymore. So it was weird to go to the park and like, who am I going to fucking, and I don't know. It was just weird to try and make friends that way, because it was always cool.
You got to watch that Guy Mariano documentary, and you just got to start watching skate paraphernalia, like not videos, but like watch like Epically Latered. Have you ever seen that?
Yes. Do they still do that show?
They have a bunch of new ones. It was a TV show on Vice for a second when Vice Land was actually good for like that. I remember,
dude. I remember like 2005. Watching that shit, man.
Yeah, have you ever seen the Andrew Reynolds one where he was making Stay Gold and he had OCD?
Yeah, man, it's been a while.
It's like the most legendary. Yeah, it's like the most legendary Epically Latered, and that's one of the funniest ones too, because he starts getting mad at Atiba because Atiba's like, "Dude, you've done the trick 8 times in a row. Like that one looked good." He's like, "It may have been good for you, but it wasn't good for me."
So was it just a matter of
okay?
Wow. Dude, that's
he was just obsessed. He talks about it. He talked about like all he would do was like wake up and like get on the exercise bike and like eat fruit, and then he would go skate.
Wait.
And he was like,
wow.
He was like having people come to the same, having people come to the same spots like 4 weekends in a row, because he'd keep landing and like he'd be like, nah, No, my hands touched. So I was doing crumb snatching. Like he calls it crumb snatching when your hand touches the ground after you land something. And he couldn't do it without his hand touching the ground. So for 4 weekends, he went to the same spot over and over again and did like 12 back 360s down this 5 block total.
Wait, is that his
finally
term?
He landed one. I think that's LA. I think that's LA.
That's an LA skate term. I wouldn't.
Yeah, I'm sure he came up with that. I mean, I'm sure he didn't come up with that, but someone he might have known did. I don't know. Andrew Reynolds was on Bones Brigade, so he might have came up with that for all I know.
Dude, it was really cool. Fucking so they still do that show though? They still do Epically Latered? What is it on now? Is it online? Is it on YouTube or is it on?
It's online. Everything is online.
Is Viceland gone?
Viceland's around, but they don't really do skate content anymore. Like they did King of the Road for 3 years, and they didn't do it this year or last year. But it's like they ruined. Like that was the thing about a TV show getting involved is King of the Road became Jackass, and then after it became Jackass, now people don't want to do King of the Road anymore because it's not even. It got too ridiculous.
Oh shit! So like making it into a TV show destroyed it.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was more challenges like run naked through the mall, and you could literally see like, or it wasn't that wasn't a challenge, but it would be dumb shit like that, like drink your own piss from your shoe, that type of shit. And
you're saying that was the old version or the new version?
The new version. Like the old version would have some challenges like that, but they would be like. It would be like eat your body weight in beef jerky in one day. You know what or your body weight, your height in beef jerky in one day.
But and this so was like more goofy for the TV show.
Yeah, it was more shocking for the TV show, and it was there was becoming a bigger ratio of weird gimmicky challenge than there was like actual skateboard challenges, where it was like people were taking entire chunks out of their day to go do these weird little stunts, and they weren't even being able to skate any spots in the town. And like you could see some skaters on the show were getting like really weird about it and being like, dude, what the fuck? I just want to skate. And so it kind of, I kind of saw it not continuing.
They're like, this is too much TV bullshit happening now.
Yeah, because pro skaters are like 17 to 20-year-old kids that have never been on TV before, and they just want to skate. Like they literally are mindless. They didn't
get into it for that either. They didn't get into it for showbiz, right? Like maybe some people did, but
like King of the Road, like 2007, 2008. Those are like some of the coolest videos ever, because like. It's like how many spots in one town can you visit in a day? And it would be like interesting challenges, like do a double flip down this, do a double flip to grind on this famous ledge. And people would be like, whoa, that's actually really hard because we have like an hour to do it. And who does double flips in the grinds? Nobody does. Like it would be interesting skate challenges where it became like dress up like a juggalo for a day. Like that was like the new challenges that they have.
They weren't even skate challenges at that point.
Yeah, they literally weren't skate challenges. And that's when I stopped watching. And after I stopped watching, I'm like, I'm probably the target demographic, so that show's probably not going to be on anymore. And I was right.
So in Viceland went under?
Viceland is, I think, hemorrhaging money. They lost a lot of their good shows. Like when they lost Desus and Miro, I knew, because that was their biggest show. I knew that was going to be a problem. And then Action Bronson will only do a show for one season, and then he comes up with a new show idea. He'll never like do the shows that people want him to do. So he just keeps doing new shows on Viceland and like losing his fan base and building a new one. It's really weird.
He just that's like sounds like something that like I don't know, like Tim and Eric or some Adult Swim personality would do. That's odd.
Yeah,
were they trying
to be a network like that? Yeah,
that's what I was wondering. Like there's a lot of weed stuff, a lot of things that you wouldn't see on other channels, and
but they kind of, I don't know, they kind of half-heartedly went that direction. Like
did they go too corporate with it, or
they did?
What happened?
Yeah, I think they pulled back. Well, like Action Action Bronson used to have like. Have you ever seen his Ancient Aliens show?
No.
The first season of the Action Bronson Ancient Aliens show, if you're watching it smoking weed with a friend or two, you'll fucking cry laughing. Like he just gets famous rappers with a green screen background, and what he did was it's so Adult Swim. It's incredible. He bought all the rights to like the first season of the Ancient Aliens TV show from the History Channel because like the rights were going up or something. So Action Bronson or Viceland bought the rights to the show, and they're like, we're just going to re-air entire episodes of Ancient Aliens, except we're going to do it Mystery Science Theater style with Action Bronson and whatever rappers he wants to bring in.
Cool. That's cool. Is it a
And
good
so it would
show?
be like, it's super good. It's hilarious. The first season is. The second season isn't because they got more corporate with it. But like in the first season, like he would have what's his fucking name? Alchemist is like a famous producer. He would like have Alchemist and like another rapper come on. Like Too Short was in one episode, and he would just make them take giant dab hits because he has like this collection of multi-$1,000 dab rigs that are like dragons and shit like that. And like he's just he even says it on the show. He's like, this is the first show that they ever openly showed dabs on TV.
Oh,
like,
really?
They would just be them dabbing, rolling giant blunts. They would bring people on.
Why didn't they want to show? Was it like against the rules of networks? I don't know.
They showed it. They showed it for this show.
When was
then in Action Bronson's show, this was in like 2015. But then in other shows that came out after this, that Action Bronson did, they didn't show the weed. But he was still talking about pass me the rig and stuff like that. And I'm like, why aren't they showing the weed anymore?
Think they got paid to not do that or something?
I think it was probably they couldn't find advertisers, I'm willing to bet, is what the problem was.
So people could smoke it, but yeah.
Yeah, you didn't want you to show it. They didn't want you to show it on the but then they still have weed shows on there, so I don't really know. I'm just guessing because that one show I liked went to shit in its second season.
Is it just that they don't want to show people dabbing or smoking in general?
I think it's the act of smoking in general.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it just has something to do with ad revenue. I'm willing to bet.
Or people you want to be around. You have a location in mind. I'd like you to have a schedule and force yourself.
Sam, skateboarding is a little bit more freeform than that. So it's a little bit more impulsive.
But Bellin, it hasn't worked. You provided a situation that could truthfully, no bullshit, really help him. And but we need to get specific to help him because he hasn't done it. Like I had a question of how do you find those people? Do you just show up and start skating, and after a while?
Well, yeah, you just show up, and a big part of it is just not being a douchebag. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which Ghostbusters wouldn't have a problem with.
No, people like him. So, but now look, Bellin, would you be available to kind of motivate him when he's feeling like not motivated? Could he call you or message you?
We're gonna be skate pen pals.
Yeah.
What does this mean? Barakisha saying this. What does this mean? The sanguine and melancholic biles balance each other out. What does that mean?
Sounds good. I don't know what it means.
Biles? Sanguine? What the fuck?
I don't know. I usually know what Barakisha's talking about. I don't know what he's talking about.
Who is Barakisha, by the way? Is that Jackson Black?
That is no. That is a Patrice O'Neal fan who found RDA through us fucking around over there.
You're one of the best ones, dude. Keep it up, man.
Now, all the people that came from the Black Phillip streams are grade A personalities in chat. Like Barakisha and Jay King both came from there. There's someone else who I'm forgetting too. Oh, Van Halen came from the Patrice streams. He's awesome. Yeah, all those people are fucking rad.
Frank, get online, man, and we'll talk. This would be a good time, man. There's no pressure. Not even that many people watching. Get on, man.
Frank DeRosa is saying at least put up an avatar. That's funny. If you're not going to show your face, at least put up an avatar.
How about at least get on there, man? And we're waiting for RC, and I kind of like this talk because it's passionate, and but I think it does help Bellin to be specific. At least that's my thinking, because sometimes if you have a schedule, you got to show up, man, and he's got to show up, and if it doesn't happen one time, he's got to come back. That's all.
I have an idea. I have an idea that kind of meets in the middle, Sam. HB, you're doing your stream from like upstairs, right?
Downstairs.
You're downstairs. Ooh, yeah. Perfect. So how do you feel? Is your girlfriend going to get mad if you were to say, put your board on the carpet in front of your camera and do a kickflip?
Right now?
Well, what I'm suggesting is that we implement the do a kickflip rule, where, and you've done this to me before, Hostbusters, this is what made me think of it, where once a day, either one of us can hit the other one. If we catch them on a string somewhere, we could say, do a kickflip, and you have to do a kickflip.
All right.
Great idea.
That's a great idea. I'm trying to fucking figure out, there's two reasons why, which I can figure out the one reason, right? So like logistically, I just have to move some shit around and make some space. I can do that. It's 2 a.m.
That's the thing.
I got a person next door.
You know, but you're in carpet. You're on the carpet, right?
Yeah, that's true.
It shouldn't be bad. That's why I was asking if you were upstairs or downstairs. It should be good. I'm in the garage when I do my streams because I don't want to wake people up. So I'm going to fucking make all sorts of noise.
How could I fucking...
See, he's motivating you, man. It's just a simple support system. It works.
Because even a kickflip a day, after a couple of days of that, you're going to start to get an itch where you're like, I kind of want to do another kickflip.
I kind of want to do it, but I kind of don't want to fucking... If you could see the area I'm in right now, it's like...
Well, what if because this is the concept stream, what if we can create the rule and it can go into effect as of tomorrow?
All right, that's a fair deal.
That gives you time to just clear enough space, and then once a day, each of us gets to get the other person to get a kickflip. But you can't just like DM the person. Like I can't just DM Hostbusters like do a kickflip. I have to catch him out in the open somewhere, because technically then we could just do it at any point. You know what I mean? And there's times when like Hostbusters isn't going to be at home. So
wait, you're saying if you happen to when you're walking outside in California, if you happen to see me walking around for some weird reason,
let's say if I'm on With Apologies and you go into With Apologies chat, you can bring the whole thing to a halt and say, Bellin, do a kickflip, and I have to do a kickflip before I move on with what was happening on With Apologies.
Okay.
And if I see you over here, like let's say I'm not even scheduled for an appearance on Busters, I can come in while you're doing true crime and I can say do a kickflip, and you have to do a kickflip.
So how does this work with you though? Because you're not on camera on RDA. So how would I know?
Right. Well, here's two. Here's two things. One, every time you've asked me to do a kickflip in the past, I have physically done a kickflip. Okay. Now we're gonna have to play by the honor rule a little bit in certain occasions, but I feel like the two of us wouldn't have a problem doing that. And even if I'm not on camera, you're going to hear me do a kickflip. You know what I mean? If I'm on stream, you're going to hear this. Did you hear that?
Right.
That was me doing it with my hand. But still, you would hear it more if I was standing on it.
Are any of those carpet trucks worthwhile? Either the rubber band things you put on the wheels or the soft trucks?
No. If you're a little kid that wants to learn, I might recommend those, but you know how to skate. It's easier to do tricks if you have a little bit of momentum. Even if you're motion stationary, being able to land and then roll a couple inches will help you not fall off the board.
So it'll actually be easier to do a kickflip in the living room with a regular board as opposed to that shit that's like...
Yeah, the only thing that does is it eliminates your mental fear, which...
Of what?
You know, I have mental fear... Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, I don't care about that. I just thought like the I thought the ability to flick the board was compromised by the like the carpet catching
No,
on it or
that's not
whatever.
what it's. No, that it's just for a safe. It's a teacher. It's a teaching method. I used to sell those when I worked at
Oh.
Zoomies. I literally only recommended them to like little kids or like people whose parents were clearly like helicopter parents, and you could tell their kid was socially awkward because of that. I'd be like, you maybe want these because I can already tell they're not going to let their kid go out in the street and skate for a while. So I'm like, I might as well give them something.
That's sad. Are there a lot of those kids?
There's not a lot of them, but there's more now than you probably would have thought there was because of how popular YouTube skateboarding is.
Ooh,
Like
Pug
there's
just
little kid
smashed us
YouTube
though.
shows.
Pug.
Oh no!
He said anyone who skates, anyone over 16 who skates, sad to me.
Sad.
But Pug, you don't even see your full potential until you're 18. I don't.
Yeah, Pug, maybe
You need
yours.
grown man muscles to do some of these tricks.
How old are you, Pug? How old is Pug? Sam, you're Pug, right? Did you see?
It's up to him. I know, man, but it's up to him to tell you, not me.
Sam, did you see in Bleachy's chat that people were blaming you for AOC's actions? I mean, AOC for your actions?
Well, how do you know? By the way, AOC, I have something to tell you later, man. I have it planned out. How do you know I'm not AOC?
Duro says a follow-up. Anyone over 30 and still drink? Sad to me. Do you think he smashed Pug back?
I don't know if Pug drinks.
God, Sam just fucking disappears because he loves the cringe thing now.
No, no, man.
You know who really loves to disappear is that person in the bottom left corner.
No, look, I think
balls.
to make this worthwhile, you actually have to do it. And now you have Bellin helping you, and I would think that people who like you in chat in the future hold you accountable to get you to do it, to help you. It's
But
simple.
other people can't tell him to do a kickflip.
Right. Only
That can only come from
Bellin.
someone that skates.
Bellin.
Yeah, so right now that's me.
You're critical, man.
But Sam, I can tell you to do a kickflip though. Do a kickflip. Is that fair?
Sam, do a kickflip.
I just did it.
Good job. Skateboard for your health. Tom, that's what we've been talking about for the last... Wait, no, we weren't. Were we? I don't know.
That's fine.
We kind of are. Can you do slappies, HP? I wouldn't be surprised if you can't, because I didn't know what they were for a long time.
I get what they are to look at them. I don't really understand the physics of it. It almost seems like the world's smallest wall ride that results in a grind.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. But here's the thing. A lot of people, like, I didn't even see a slappy for years because in like the mid 2000s, it was considered gay to do slappies. So they weren't even on videos. But then
it sounds like a gay
slappies,
sex move if you don't know what it is.
Tom.
Right.
Sam would know about
the
that.
slappy. But when I found out what they were, I was like, how are they wall riding onto curbs? But that's actually beginner grinds. Like in the 80s, people did slappies before they knew how to ollie. Wow. So really, by not knowing how to slappy, you're doing yourself a disservice because that will teach you how to grind better. Because if you can slam into a curb and just melt onto the grind, that's a lot, scarier than jumping onto the grind. So then once you can do slappies, you're like, oh, I'll just grind anything.
Wow. So you saying basically that it's a really good skill to have, but people just didn't get into it because it's considered like lame or stupid?
Yeah. Well, now every kid knows how to slappy. But people, because you're 29, right?
Yeah.
And I'm 27. People from our age group don't know how to slappy a lot of the time.
Oh, but the younger kids do now?
Yes, younger kids are super into slappies. Like now people are doing slappies on like actual ledges, like wall riding up the ledge into grind.
Fuck? Like I think you might have asked me.
Everything is a trend. Everything's a trend.
That's so weird. You might have asked me a while back about like, what do you think about slappies? And I said they're cool or whatever, they're interesting, but I didn't know they were something that people were actually doing regularly. And yeah, I
Yeah,
guess people in
that's
the
a really
audience,
hot one.
like Tom, are like, "What are they talking about?" It has to do with grinding on a ledge, the bottom, the trucks. See, then we start talking about skateboarding. Well, the trucks. What are the trucks? The metal part on the bottom. It grinds on a ledge, and you ride up to it.
Right.
Do you think there's a good way to like? First of all, I don't know if people care enough, but I'm trying to think of a way to explain to people who really don't give that much of a shit about skateboarding what is going on with skateboarding, and I don't know. Sam, do you understand anything that's happening?
That might be.
Well,
Yeah.
first of all, you chat, man. You talk among yourselves, man. You talk among yourselves. You all know each other. I think it's kind of cool. I think it's worth addressing what can actually come from this conversation. And I hold HB accountable to get it done, man. You have Bella to help. And I think that's cool. That's worth more than a few people being bored.
Well, you see now. Here's the thing. Here's where you contradict yourself because you say all the time that the stream comes first.
I do.
The stream comes first,
right?
But
and
I think it's like
there's exceptions, man. If something's
are there?
Yeah, of course there are. There's exceptions in everything, aren't there?
Never.
Well, there's an. I don't know what to say, man. Okay, you're right. There's never.
Well, I think Sam. If I could defend Sam for the first time in months, I would say that I think Sam's saying it's like a give yourself the oxygen mask before your baby type thing, where it's like the health of the guy running busters is more important than tonight's individual busters. Is what Sam is saying. Me personally,
Sam's
I love the
worried
direction
about
of the
me
show.
dying. Or
no, with the one caveat.
Metaphorically,
I think this show depends on the chat, and the chat people are funny enough to have some fun among themselves. And I kind of dig watching this conversation, and other people will. But if you're bored by this chat, make it happen more. You can. There's fine people in chat. Make it happen, man. Have some conversation among yourselves. That's all.
Hey, you don't. If you're losing your voice, you don't have to talk. By the way, sounds like you might need some water.
Man. Yeah, I know. And you know what? Some people on replay will like this. Some people will like the skateboarding chat, and if they don't, they can fast forward. So I think it's cool. I really like watching this.
Interesting that we have two, and who knows what the hell Jarvis doing. We have two spectators.
What he's ever doing. I have plenty of segments, but actually, Bellen's right. You did state it right. Having HB be happy is worth it. He'll be better on stream, man. So
well, I don't want to dwell on it, and I feel like I like the do a kickflip rule. I'm a big fan of this. I feel like this is trendy. I think this could introduce HB's show to a new demographic of people. So I say we put a pin in the do a kickflip thing. And Sam, what are some of your segments? I don't want to ruin your show, Sam. This is Sam's show.